Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. It is Sat Chat time. Are we rolling? Yes, we are. Oh my goodness, I'm feeling very rusty because I haven't been down to my studio since last week's Sat Chat. It's been this beautiful second summer type of weather here in Maine. I've been sitting outside doing my Inktober work. I've just been soaking up the vitamin D basically because I know we're going to get hit with reality very soon and it will be cold again, and I just want to kind of soak up every last bit of warm weather and sunshine that we can. And it's always really nice when you get that that kind of like kind of dog days of summer. You get that like second summer coming back in the fall, especially when the leaves are turning and it's really pretty but it's really warm. And like the other day we just had these gorgeous bright blue skies, not a cloud in the sky. It was 82. I took my paddleboard out and I brought my fanny pack with my painting stuff in it, and I just paddled out and I painted on the paddleboard, which I hadn't done before. I don't know if I'll do it again because there's a lot of like, paddle, 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 sketch, 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 and then as you're drifting away, there's like paddle, 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 sketch, sketch, sketch. It's very intense, but it was a lot of fun. I was glad I did it, but I don't think I will paint from the paddleboard again. But it was just so nice to be out there, and it was so nice and warm, and yeah, I'm in for a rude awakening next week, but yeah, you gotta soak up those days when you can. Tomorrow, some friends and I are going up to the covered bridge in Guilford, and we're gonna paint the Piscataquis River covered bridge foliage. I think I'm gonna bring my pastels, and my husband got me this art comber. It's called an art comber. It's this bag with a chair attached to it that carries a wooden like French easel, and I love to bring my French easel if I'm going to do oil painting or pastel painting outdoors, but it's really heavy. But this has wheels, like pretty big chunky wheels, so you can actually just kind of roll it where you're going. And I'm going to give that a try, give that a whirl, and hopefully it works well. And I like pastels just because I don't have to worry about drying time, and I'm just going to bring like a pad of sanded pastel paper, and maybe I'll get a couple paintings done, I hope. I can work pretty fast in pastel, so that'll be pretty good, I think. So looking forward to that tomorrow afternoon, and then yeah, we'll be hit with reality this weekend. It's supposed to rain, and then next week it's supposed to drop down into like the 50s and 60s, which that's not bad. That's par for the course this time of year, but man, it's like we've been blessed with 70-degree, 80-degree weather this week, and that's why I haven't been down in the studio. So speaking of Inktober, it's I'm filming this on Thursday afternoon because Friday I'm going to be going painting with friends, and then Saturday obviously that's when it publishes, and I'm not up early enough to film Sat Chat in the morning. And so I've done 4 of the Inktober sketches, and I've used 4 different sketchbooks to do that. And but that means I am using up the sketchbooks, which is what I intended to do in the whole sketchbook snowball I don't know, procedure method. I'm hoping I will fill some sketchbooks and finish some sketchbooks, because just having so many in progress is a little overwhelming. I don't know if I really mind it. It's so hard to say, but yeah, I've done four illustrations of 4 different books. So I'll be working on the 5th one today because I'm filming on Thursday, and I've also got to plan my Derwent project for November, and hoping I can somehow make it correlate with one of these with today or tomorrow's Inktober, so that I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because it's due tomorrow. And yesterday I felt like I had all the time in the world yesterday, and I had a very leisurely day, and it was sunny, and I was like hanging out outside, sitting out back with the dog. And then today it's like, oh no, you've got a bunch of stuff you need to get done before the weekend. So we'll see if I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone on that one, but if not, I'll have to come up with something else. So there is a free class next Friday, so Friday the 13th, whoo, spooky, over at michaels.com. So if you go to michaels.com/classes, or I'll have the link in the video description, it's the mushroom. No, I'm sorry, it's a garlic. We're gonna be drawing garlic with Derwent drawing pencils, and that's a free class. Unfortunately, it's only available to access it live if you are in the United States or Canada, or maybe if you have a VPN. And some people suggested if you had a VPN, you could use that to sign up. But since Michaels redid their website, it's been only open to US and Canadian viewers. But after that, a few days later on Michaels' YouTube channel, the replay will be available. But I think the picture quality is better when you watch it live because it's on Zoom. I wish it was done directly to YouTube, just because I get a much better picture quality when I'm broadcasting to YouTube versus Zoom, but that's the way it's run for now, and yeah, that's that's how it is. Oh, and speaking of Inktober, which I guess we're circling back to that, I'm very scattered today. I've got so much adulting I need to do this afternoon that I'm just, I'm a little overwhelmed. But since this is Inktober and I do a lot of alcohol marker work during October, I always get asked if I have classes on using alcohol markers, and I do. Alcohol marker workshop, and I am putting it on sale for 40% off for the entire month. If you want to get to know your alcohol markers, learn how to use them, learn what affordable supplies you can get started with, that is 40% off, and I'll put that information in the video description as well if you wanted to do some alcohol marker work as well and you wanted to have a little bit more guidance and see how I approach my subjects in alcohol marker. I know I probably have a little bit different of an approach than some other artists, so if you like the way that my alcohol marker art looks, then, you know, give it a try. You'll learn a lot. Then there's a lot of step-by-step projects. There's patterns for the projects. It's definitely beginner-friendly. And I feel like alcohol markers have kind of a high, steep, like, learning curve, so this really breaks it down into manageable bites, I think. So check that out if you want to learn more about alcohol marker. So, what were we talking about last week? We were talking about the Christmas season, and I got my house all decorated after I filmed Sat Chat last week. I went up into the attic, and instead of bringing the totes down and having the tote purgatory in the kitchen where you just have totes sitting out for days while you decide what you're going to put up and everyone puts their 2 cents in, I'm like, nope, I'm bringing down what I want to see out and I'm putting it up. And there's not going to be any peanut galleries, there's not going to be any committee on what's going to go out. I asked my husband, like, what, we both like the idea of it being very kind of minimal because we're not going to be here for Halloween. We're going to be away, and we've got somebody sitting the house, but so, you know, and a little bit of fall, a little bit of Halloween, so I just kept it very basic. It looks nice. I did the deep clean I was telling you about last week because I still have this cleaner sitting here. My recommendation of the scrub-free Dollar Tree cleaning stuff. So yeah, it's I really like it. I did very minimal decorations. I did some skulls. I did some pumpkins. Pumpkins and skulls is the motif of the fall Weirich household, and I think it looks pretty nice. So I was asking you about what should I do for a Christmas tree. Our Christmas tree is not going to make it. Several of you guys said get an artificial tree, but take off the branches on the back and push it up against the wall. And I'm like, oh, I like that idea. Then I'm like, I wonder if the artificial tree I have, if I were to like bend the branches like around to the sides so that I didn't have to have like a 360-degree tree, if I bent the branches around, that might be full enough, like to do half a tree with, because the branches are all fixed. They're not like, you don't put them in like we had our old tree. You'd have each of the branches you put in, there would be like little colors on the end of the stem, so it would tell you what row to put them in. So this is all fixed, but I'm like, I wonder if I could do that, if I could just kind of fluff everything out to one side and then it would be full enough and have it right up against the wall. I love that idea. So thank you guys. Several of you suggested that. My friend Cindy offered me her artificial tree. So I think I might see what I can do with the one that I have, and if that's not going to work, I might take Cindy up on her offer. I have to ask her how big it is, but that might work if she's sure she doesn't need it anymore. And then we went out to see my college friends on Sunday. We met in Belfast, and then after lunch we went over to Fiddleheads, which is this art and crafts supply store, and they carry the Cavallini & Co. prints, and they have Christmas prints, you guys. I got 3, and I just ordered poster frames for them. Let me back up a little bit here. Hopefully it won't crash into... So we got this one. Doesn't this look like a Christmas card? Isn't that cute? So we got that one. And I'm trying not to wrinkle them. And I got this one. I love... This is like the shiny bright ornaments. Isn't that cute? I just love this. And then we also got this one here that also looks like a vintage Christmas card. So I love the old Victorian Christmas cards. I love that kind of kitschy, and I love the kitschy 50s looking stuff. So I ordered just like 3 black frames, and I was going to get them. There were these frames that I like that I get at Jerry's and Blick's, and they're called the Gallery. At Jerry's they're called Ambiance, I think, and at Blick's they're called Gallery, and they're like a wooden frame, and they have styrene in them, and they're pretty thick. And I like those a lot for displaying artwork. And they're not terribly expensive for, you know, frames are expensive, so they're not like terribly, I think they're a lot more than they used to be. But anyways, the 20 by 28 size that I would cost around $50 a pop. And so I was like, well, do I want to spend $150 to frame $6 posters? I don't know. And then I'm like, well, let me just double check Amazon, because I was just looking for a simple poster frame, really. And they had a 3-pack for like $45 with a hardboard backing, and it had styrene just like the or acrylic just like the other frame. So I went with a cheap route. I just got the 3-pack of frames because I'm not going to want to, like, if I got the other ones, I definitely would want to unframe them and put like something else for the rest of the year. I wouldn't want to just throw them in the attic for the expense of those. For these, I will put them together in like I'll, you know, wrap them up, put them in a trash bag, stick them in gently in the rafters, and they can sit there until next year. And I think that'll work out pretty well. I don't know if I'll hang those up in the kitchen or in the living room, but I guess it will depend on what we end up doing with the tree. But I'm gonna try that half a tree thing with the one I have first, and then see how that goes, because I like that idea a lot. I definitely need new lights this year because we were scrounging and barely had enough to do the tree last year. It was bad. But it's like, I'm not going out and buying new lights, because like when I'm decorating, it's like, it's getting done now. I'm not, you know, I don't like these long, I don't like tote purgatory in the kitchen. I like to get the totes down, put everything up, and get the totes back up in the attic. I hate having stacks of totes. It's just one of those things. It's like my kitchen floor, I want my kitchen floor to be clean, and I don't want stacks of totes anywhere. I don't like that purgatory of, storage purgatory. And what else did I do? Oh, this week I actually had Jason help me because I needed to move some heavy furniture. We redid Jackson's old bedroom. So Jackson's our oldest. He moved out last year for good. And I mean, we still have some of his stuff here. His closet's still full of his stuff. And so it's, you know, he could move back if he ever wanted to. But I don't foresee that happening. So I wanted to move the desk on the opposite wall, move the bed on the opposite wall, kind of twirl the room around, also put up some different paintings. And I put up the painting, I don't know if you remember, it was a big birch tree when I was doing it. It was on my easel. It was like 3 foot by 5 foot, I think, painting that I did in oils with like a palette knife last year. And it went perfectly in that room. That was one of the 3 things I had stacked up on my mantle in my decision fatigue decorating style of this year that I was glad to be able to push past. Right, the big painting I did because I wanted to hide the ugly Ethernet cord that was like in my living room so that we could have internet into our addition. Yeah, so I just decided it's better to see a cord than to have like 3 random things leaned up on the mantle. But anyway, so yeah, that painting was perfect in there. And then I had moved some paintings around when I did the fall decorating, and I hung them up in there. So so it actually looks really nice, but I have a really big bare wall, so I'm thinking about doing another big oil painting of the birch tree, of similar birch trees, but different, or maybe even a scutic point or something like that, where I could do with a palette knife and have that same kind of color palette and vibe. And then I was thinking about maybe doing the big one in the middle, then 2 smaller paintings on each side, so it filled the wall. And then if I ever wanted to put, because that's my office, so I have my video editing computer up there, my printer, all of that stuff. One of my die cutter machines is up there. So it's a room I spend quite a good amount of time in. I do all my voiceovers up there. If I did need to do like a live stream or something, I could use my webcam. I could put that on that computer, and I'd have something nice in the background. So just something, just another option, you know. Anyway, yeah, I tend to creep around. It's like the art supply creep is kind of yeah, I've got little desks with little nooks and crannies with little sketchbooks and you know, emergency art supplies stashed everywhere. It's a madhouse. A madhouse. Oh, I have a list. I should probably look at that. See what else we have to talk about. Oh, I just remembered, next week, next Tuesday and Wednesday is Amazon. It's like, I think it's they're doing another Prime Day thing. They did it last October too. And so it's kind of like the Prime Day they do in July, but they do one in October, kind of before all the big holiday sales happen. And I will do, I think it's Tuesday and Wednesday next week. It's the 10th and 11th, because Monday I know I have a vet appointment for Penny. And then, yeah, this is Tuesday and Wednesday. And so I will be doing a community post on my YouTube channel. I might do a blog post, I'm not sure, but I'll definitely do a community post on my YouTube channel where I will be updating I'll probably do one on Tuesday and update throughout the day. Maybe Tuesday night I'll just post it on my blog, and then I'll do one on Wednesday. Or maybe on Wednesday I'll post them both on my blog. But you know, you don't know how long the deals are going to last. That's the thing. I have no idea knowing. But if I find some good art supply deals, then I will post them. If I don't find things that I think are great deals, I won't post them. So just want to give you the heads up that if you are trying to avoid sales, you're trying to avoid this information, you can just avoid it. You can avoid my community tab. You can, if you see that post come up, you can just scroll right by it, because you have to click kind of more to see everything anyway, so that we can just kind of scroll on by and not be bothered. But I do want to put that out there for those that are trying to either stock up for their own classes, stock up their own personal supplies, or buy gifts for loved ones that are into arts and crafts. I want to just have that information out there, because if there are like significant deals, you know, might as well buy it on sale. Man, there's been some crazy deals this week though, and it's you guys are such enablers. You tell me about them, which I do appreciate, because like on my class 30 Days to Better Painting, we're using the Strathmore greeting cards, and somebody found that they had the 10 packs of the Strathmore greeting cards for like $3. The watercolor greeting cards. And then somebody else found the visual journals had gone on sale for like $4.61, which is the other supply I recommend if you don't want to do the greeting cards. The journals sold out. The watercolor journals sold out, but the Bristol ones were still on sale as of as I'm recording this. I don't know if they still will be by the time the video goes up. If it is, I'll put a link in the video description. But and then somebody posted, oh, because I said, if you guys know of any other deals, just let me know. And several people told me the Rosa watercolors are 50% off. And I'm like, no. So I went and checked, and so many of the Rosa Gallery watercolor sets were 50% off. They're a professional line of watercolors from the Ukraine, or from Ukraine. I know it's not the Ukraine, it's Ukraine. I'm trying to, you know, say things properly. And they had the set of 24 in the plastic kind of butterfly type fold out palette. It was like $20. They had their monopigmented sets of 12 for like $14. They had, yeah, almost everything was 50% off. The set of 24 professional set in the cardboard box was $15, and then the student grade, the Rosa Studio 24 set in the cardboard box was $10. And I've wanted to review that, but the price has been just about the same price as their professional. So I'm like, I'm not buying that. If it's the same price, people should just buy the professional. But since it's dropped to like half off, I snagged a set of that so that I could review that. But yeah, the portrait set, the landscape set of 21. So many sets were 50% off, and they were all like labeled overstock. So I don't know if they're trying to clear out inventory because some new sets are coming or what, but if those are still on sale, I'll link that down below too. I can't imagine there would still be some in stock by this weekend, but if they are, I'll put them there. They're definitely one of the best bangs for your buck for a professional watercolor. Are they the best? I wouldn't say they're the best watercolors ever, but for the price, they're awesome. They're kind of like, they're very much like White Nights watercolors or Yarka. If you like the feeling of that paint, this paint feels very similar. I do find it wears down a little bit faster than some of the more like the extruded Western pans like Winsor & Newton or like Sennelier. I do find that they wear down a little quicker, but for the price still, full price is an unbelievable value, and then to have some sets 50% off. So I got the set of, I personally bought the set of 24 in the plastic thing because it had some colors I didn't have, and the colors that I do have are ones that I'd want backups of. And I like that palette. I thought that palette was really neat looking. And I collect unique watercolor palettes. So yes, I use them, but they're also something I collect. Some people collect commemorative plates. Some people collect Martha Washington lamps. You know, we all have our little things now, don't we? And that's my thing. That's my thing I collect. That and rubber stamps, although I have not collected many rubber stamps over the last few years because I haven't been using them, and I do want to use these collections that I have, but that's pretty much it. I don't collect things that aren't useful, I don't think, but yeah. Can I use it before I die? I don't know, but I do enjoy reviewing them and playing with them, and yeah, so yeah. When the good Lord calls me home, you better be checking out that dumpster in my front yard and get yourself some treasures. That's what I want to say to all of my followers, all my viewers. Oh gosh, what else do we have? Oh, something else I was wondering for Inktober. I don't know if I'm going to do this or not. So I don't know. This is a thought that I had last week. I had this thought last week because, well, I showed you this last week, but this was my first Inktober sketch. I did a video of it. This one right here. And I thought, boy, that looks very storybook-like. And I thought, oh, you know what? That would make a really cool coloring book page. or maybe we'll redo it in watercolor or something like that. I was like, I love that little illustration. I don't have any of my other sketchbooks within reach because they're all stashed everywhere because I've been painting outside of the studio because it's been so nice. So I was thinking, would anybody be interested in, and I don't know if I'm going to do this, guys, so don't hold me to this because, you know, me getting an idea and staying excited about that idea for 30 days is, you know, I can finish Inktober, but am I going to want to do anything with those sketches beyond this? I don't know. But I thought that it might be kind of fun to do a coloring book with my Inktober drawings. Other people have done that, so it's like not like I'm coming up with this unique idea. But I thought some of those illustrations would make a really good coloring book. I can sell digital downloads on my Teachable School. When that feature came up, that's the first thing I thought of. It's like, oh, I could do a coloring book or something. But I would definitely have to redraw everything and re-ink it because I've added color to it, and I didn't scan anything before I added color to it. And I tend to do my inking last anyway, so it really wouldn't have been possible. But so that's something I'm thinking about, offering a coloring book of my Inktober 2023 designs. And I thought if that's popular, I could do Inktober from the last like 4 Inktobers that I've done. Or I could do a best of Inktober and just like go through all my past Inktobers and just redraw the ones that I think would make good coloring pages. I don't know. So it's just something that's floating in the ether. You know, one of those, I have all these different ideas that someday, you know, when I'm retired, I'd like to do this, you know, and that would be like illustrate a cookbook and maybe make coloring books. I don't know. But I could also use Amazon Create Space, and you can publish a coloring book on Amazon, and they print it and ship it on demand. So, you know, that's an option. I don't know about that paper though. I know a lot of people do their coloring books on Amazon Create Space, but I think the paper might be a little bit thin. So a lot of people end up just photocopying the coloring book pages onto the paper they like anyway. Because adult coloring book, this would be like an adult coloring book. So adult coloring book enthusiasts will use like really nice supplies, and they'll usually print it out on really nice paper. So it seems like a digital option would be better. I could sell it cheaper, and people could just print it on the paper they wanted and save the whole scanning step and make as many copies as they need. So that's what I'm thinking about. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, but right now it sounds like a great idea. Whether this will sound like a great idea in 30 days or I will be completely sick of looking at all those Inktober sketches, I don't know. Who can say? But I've been enjoying a nice lull this week, but I definitely am feeling the pressure of, oh girl, you got stuff to get done. You were in like Fantasyland the last couple days. So you need to get on the stick. But yeah, I've had a really nice, relaxing week. And I think I needed that. I mean, coming out of a launch, the days are so long when you're developing a class, and then when you first launch a class, because you've got a lot of new students coming in, so you have a lot of work to look at, and the energy is great, and you want to be there, but like you'll be on the computer till 10 o'clock at night, and you'll be on the computer at 6 in the morning, and it's just long days, and so but you get used to that pace, and so then it's weird when you slow down and you relax for a day or two, because it's like, okay, I know I should be doing something. You kind of get this feeling like, I know I should be doing something right now. What should I be doing? You know, you get kind of like anxious because it's like, what am I forgetting? I'm forgetting something. So it's hard to enjoy the relaxation, but I did enjoy it yesterday. It was so lovely. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I do have a couple other things on my list, but I don't know if it's really that interesting to chat about. I've been thinking about sourdough again, and I was telling my husband that, oh, we're gonna have to, when we get back from our vacation, we're gonna have to start sourdough up. He's like, oh, thank goodness, I can't wait for all of my discussions to involve sourdough bread. Because I get obsessed. I don't know what it is. It's like when I start making sourdough bread, it's kind of like, it takes 5 days to get the starter going to the point where you can bake with it. I use the recipe from Kitchen, Kitchn. It's a 5-day sourdough starter. And you can start baking on day 5. You don't have to discard anything until day 5. So, or maybe you discard, I can't remember. But when you do discard things, you can make pancakes with it. You can do all sorts of different things with it. And I hate wasting it. So I will not throw it away. And so once the sourdough starter is ready, every day you've got to like throw out half and feed it, right? And that seems so wasteful. So instead of throwing out half, I bake with it. And so for about 3 weeks, I will just be like baking every single day, making tons of sourdough, freezing it, and then I'll have sourdough all through the holiday season. So I'll probably start that up like November 1st, and I'll probably go strong until about Thanksgiving, and then I'll just like be doling out sourdough bread for the rest of the season. I will be hot and cold on this. I'll be like so into sourdough. You think that I was just like the sourdough Sherpa. I will just be like, you know, all in on sourdough. It's like, this is my calling in life. And then I'll be like, this is too much work, and I throw it away. Or I'll just I'll bake up one last batch. I'll use everything I have left, and then I'll be like, I'm done. So that's why I love that recipe from Kitchen, because you can start it in 5 days and you don't feel bad when you, you know, grow tired of it and then you chuck it. Or if you get something gets contaminated and you get that weird, you know, pink grossness, orangey. Ugh. Sometimes you get this weird contamination in your sourdough. It hasn't happened to me in a few years, but it's so frustrating when it does. But since it only takes 5 days, it's not the end of the world. So that's what I am looking forward to sourdough. I am a big bread fan. And it's like, I don't even buy bread anymore. I make bread like once a week. And it's like, if I'm going to have bread, I'm going to have the real deal. I'm going to have good stuff. And yeah, sourdough is so good. So it's kind of my fall thing. I don't dare do it in the summer because I'm so worried that that I would get fruit flies if I had sourdough started going in the summer. So I just think that would just be like a magnet. So I don't like to do that. But come fall, when you just want the oven on, you want the smells, it's good. And then, you know, the kids come home for the bread, so it's a ploy to get my college-age children back home. And they're home for the holidays anyway. But yeah, sourdough season is coming soon. And yeah, so trying to think if there's anything else. What do we do this week? We had a pastel time lapse. We had a review of some generic pan pastel sponges, or sponges that fit the pan pastel tools. Then we had the alcohol marker time lapse. No, it wasn't a time lapse. It was edited down, but it wasn't a time lapse. It was more just kind of edited short. And yeah, that was pretty much it. I definitely need to get some more Inktober stuff done. I need to get my Durant stuff done for next month. And we've got our live stream next week, so I hope you come join me for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. They always are a lot of fun. It's a little creepy that it's on Friday the 13th. And that Friday the 13th is in October. That's like super creepy, you know? I feel like we should have a party or something, you know? Every year we used to throw these epic Halloween parties when the kids were little. And because we lived, well, we still do, we live on this corner of a cul-de-sac. And back then, you know, there were a lot of little kids that lived in the neighborhood. So we would kind of start off and a lot of people all over the neighborhood would come and start at our house because it was a little cul-de-sac. People could park and then just walk. It was safer. I mean, we live in a small town, so there's not many street lights. And houses are really far apart. So you either go to the city or you go to the mall, or you find a little cul-de-sac, a little neighborhood that really loves Halloween. And that's what we were for quite a while, until they started up all the trunk or treats. And that really, I think that's what people do now. They just do the trunk or treats at the school or the church or whatever. But man, there was the golden years when we would have our big Halloween open house. And we would just take everyone would start there, we would just take the kids out in these big mobs, and the older kids could kind of go by themselves a little bit. So, because we're just all in the same, like, you know, cul-de-sacs, we knew everybody. And it was just great. It was good times. I hope the kids look back at that and they'll be like, oh, good memories. I have great memories with it. It was fun to like hang out with other parents and all go together as a group. And yeah, it was just great. We'd decorate up. We'd have the, you know, spooky music on, and we'd do a potluck, and it was just great. Because, you know, you'd want to get the kids out before it got too dark. And I'm trying to think when they changed the daylight savings time, because it was pretty dark for some of those, like even early. But anyways, we had a great time. And yeah, I hope things like that still occur in the world. Anyway, that's all I have for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye!